Picture this: a single desk, 2 chairs, and a curtain. Simple enough, right? But behind that curtain lay the most powerful launching pad in American entertainment. The Tonight Show wasn't merely television. It was a gatekeeper to comedy immortality. When that curtain opened and Johnny Carson's approving smile appeared, careers were born and legends were forged. What made this stage so special? It wasn't the glamorous set or the famous guests. It was Carson himself, a man who could spot genuine talent from a mile away and had the power to transform unknowns into household names with nothing more than a laugh and an invitation to sit beside his desk. This is the story of 12 comedy titans who didn't just perform on that stage, they conquered it. Imagine walking into a library and setting fire to the rulebook. That's essentially what George Carlin did every time he stepped onto Carson's stage. While other comedians played it safe with observational humor about everyday annoyances, Carlin turned his spotlight on the sacred cows of American culture: politics, religion, and social conventions that most people whispered about behind closed doors. Carlin possessed a surgeon's precision with words, dissecting the absurdities of modern life with surgical accuracy. His comedy wasn't just entertainment. It was social commentary wrapped in laughter. He had this remarkable ability to make audiences simultaneously uncomfortable and delighted, challenging their assumptions while keeping them in stitches.
Curried woodpecker, and topped it all off with some nice candied unicorn McNuggets.
Breaking down complex societal issues into digestible, laugh-inducing observations. Carson recognized this unique blend of intelligence and humor, often leaning back in his chair with genuine admiration as Carlin delivered his razor-sharp critiques of American society. If comedy were a boxing match, Richard Pryor would be the fighter who threw himself into every punch, win or lose.
Hey, we can have another drink. Well, we're gonna spend money all night, chump. Tell me, don't hold me, man. Give me a drink, baby.
That resonated deep in your chest. His approach was revolutionary in its honesty. While other performers maintained a careful distance between their stage persona and real life, Pryor obliterated that boundary completely. His struggles with addiction, relationships, and identity became the raw material for comedy that was both hilarious and heartbreaking. On Carson's stage, Pryor was unpredictable lightning in a bottle, with the kind of manic brilliance that left audiences breathless and begging for more. He was improvisation incarnate, capable of turning a random audience member's comment into a 10-minute comedic journey through multiple dimensions.
Evangelists are so hard up now they're healing appliances. Bring forward the blender. You can't make julienne fries. Say Pope heel and come on home, mama.
Carson, typically the master of his own show, knew better than to try controlling this particular whirlwind. Instead, he became a delighted spectator, watching Williams transform his carefully orchestrated program into a playground for comedic chaos.
To watch, because he's always like, believe me. I take no medication, but I'm on TV 48 hours a day.
The magic happened in those moments when even Carson couldn't predict where Williams would take the conversation next. What made Williams truly special wasn't just his speed or energy, it was his heart. Beneath all the rapid-fire impressions and manic character changes was a genuine warmth that made audiences feel like they were watching a friend who just happened to be the most entertaining person on the planet. Some comedians tell jokes. Rodney Dangerfield became one. His entire persona was built around a single brilliant concept. A man so unfortunate that even luck avoided him out of embarrassment. With his trademark nervous collar tug and bulging eyes, Dangerfield created a character so perfectly pathetic that audiences couldn't help but love him. His comedy was architectural in its precision. Each joke was a perfectly constructed building block, stacking one misfortune on top of another until the whole structure collapsed in laughter.
I remember one Christmas, I gave my old man a BB gun and he gave me a sweatshirt with a bullseye in the back.
The beauty of Dangerfield's approach was its reliability. Like a Swiss watch, You could count on him to deliver laughs with mechanical precision. Carson appreciated this craftsmanship. In a world of unpredictable performers and experimental comedians, Dangerfield represented the gold standard of professional comedy. His appearances were masterclasses in timing, rhythm, and the art of the callback. He proved that sometimes the most sophisticated comedy came from the simplest premise executed flawlessly. In the male-dominated landscape of 1960s comedy, Joan Rivers didn't just break barriers. She demolished them with a sledgehammer made of sharp wit and fearless honesty. When she first appeared on Carson's show, she wasn't just another comedian looking for a break. She was a revolutionary who would reshape comedy's expectations forever. Rivers possessed a comedic courage that was both admirable and terrifying. She targeted everyone and everything: celebrities, politicians, social conventions, and most daringly, herself. Her humor cut like a diamond through glass, precise and unforgiving, yet somehow never cruel enough to lose the audience's affection.
I was planning to go into the act. I was opening for Juanita and her amazing vibrator.
Carson saw something special in Rivers from their very first meeting. He didn't just book her as a guest, he mentored her, eventually naming her his permanent guest host, an honor that spoke volumes about her talent and his respect for her abilities. Their professional relationship became one of the most important partnerships in late-night television history. Rivers proved that comedy didn't require testosterone to be powerful. Her success paved the way for generations of female comedians who followed. Imagine your funniest relative, the one who could turn a trip to the grocery store into an epic adventure worth retelling at family gatherings for decades. That was Buddy Hackett's gift, the ability to transform ordinary experiences into extraordinary entertainment through the sheer force of his personality and storytelling prowess. Hackett's comedy felt effortless, like he was sharing stories over dinner rather than performing on national television. His rubbery facial expressions and impeccable timing created a sense of intimacy that made audiences feel like they were part of his inner circle, privy to the funniest man in the neighborhood's best stories. What set Hackett apart was his versatility. He could seamlessly shift between family-friendly anecdotes and edgier material without ever losing his essential warmth. Some comedians made people laugh. Don Rickles made people laugh while simultaneously insulting them, their families, and everything they held dear. This shouldn't have worked, but in Rickles' hands, insult comedy became an art form that could somehow make victims feel honored to be targeted. Rickles operated without a safety net. He would attack audience members, fellow celebrities, and even Carson himself with a rapid-fire barrage of perfectly crafted insults that somehow never crossed the line from funny to mean. This high-wire act required incredible skill and timing. One misstep could turn laughter into outrage.
19 years, John.
That's right.
Don't milk it anymore.
When Rickles accidentally destroyed Carson's prized prop while Before improv comedy had schools and rules and theories, there was Jonathan Winters.
You close up, and then I drop her out of the window.
Winters' comedy was pure stream of consciousness brilliance. He would start with a simple premise, perhaps picking up a hat, and within minutes, he would have created 3 different characters, each with their own voice, personality, and relationship to that hat. Watching him work was like witnessing comedy being invented in real time. Carson, who prided himself on being able to work with any guest, often found himself simply stepping aside when Winters took the stage. He understood that his role wasn't to direct or guide Winters' performance, but simply to provide a platform for this comedic force of nature to work his magic. What made Winters truly special was his fearlessness. He trusted his comedic instincts completely, willing to follow any bizarre inspiration wherever it might lead. This trust in the creative process made his performances feel alive and spontaneous in a way that scripted comedy rarely achieved. In a world of high-energy performers and rapid-fire delivery, Bob Newhart proved that sometimes the most powerful comedy came from saying less, not more. His approach to humor was architectural. Every pause, every subtle expression, every carefully placed word was designed to maximize comedic impact. Newhart's signature phone call routines were masterpieces of comedic engineering. By presenting only one side of a conversation, he forced audiences to imagine the other half, making them active participants in the comedy.
Also, I've been on with almost every substitute host, except you. And I felt I should come on and say hi. And that's really all I would like to do, is just say hi and leave.
And get out of here.
Some comedians made audiences laugh. Tim Conway made everyone laugh. The audience, the crew, the host, and often himself. His ability to break character and drag others down with him became a trademark that made his appearances feel spontaneous and joyful rather than rehearsed and professional. Conway's comedy was built on a foundation of controlled chaos. He would start a routine so subtly that audiences weren't entirely sure if he was even trying to be. What set Conway apart was his genuine love for making people laugh. His comedy never felt calculated or cynical. It felt like the natural expression of someone who found joy in bringing happiness to others. This authenticity made him impossible not to love. Imagine if philosophy and comedy had a baby, and that baby grew up to be the most deadpan person on earth. That baby would be Stephen Wright, a comedian who delivered jokes that sounded like koans from an alternate universe where logic took coffee breaks and common sense went on permanent vacation. Wright's comedy operated on its own wavelength. His jokes weren't just funny. They were puzzles that rewarded careful attention. He took everyday concepts and twisted them just enough to reveal their inherent absurdity, creating humor that was simultaneously obvious and completely unexpected. When Wright first appeared on Carson's show, the host was so impressed that he broke his own rules, inviting Wright back for another set the very next night. This unprecedented gesture spoke volumes about Carson's recognition of Wright's unique talent and the immediate impact of his distinctive comedic voice. Wright proved that comedy didn't need volume or energy to be powerful. His whispered observations could generate bigger laughs than the most energetic physical comedy, demonstrating that the right idea, delivered perfectly, could be more effective than any amount of theatrical performance.
The Stones, I love the Stones. I can't believe they're still doing it after all these years. Watch them whenever I can. Fred and Barney.
Long before he became a Hollywood superstar, Jim Carrey was a young performer with a rubber face and an impossible dream. His first appearance on Carson's show showcased not just his impressionist skills, but his ability to completely transform into other people, not just mimicking their voices or mannerisms, but somehow capturing their essence. Carrey's rating just enough to reveal the humor without descending into cruel caricature. This balance between accuracy and comedy required not just technical skill, but genuine insight into human nature. Carson's approval of Carrey was immediate. These 12 comedy legends didn't just perform on Johnny Carson's stage, they helped define what American humor could be. From Carlin's intellectual rebellion to Pryor's emotional honesty, from Rivers' barrier-breaking courage to Rickles' dangerous wit, each brought something unique to the art form that continues to influence comedians today. Carson's Tonight Show wasn't just a television and ultimately celebrated. The host's ability to recognize and nurture talent created a golden age of comedy that may never be replicated. These performers proved that comedy could be more than just entertainment. It could be art, philosophy, social commentary, and human connection all rolled into one. They showed us that laughter wasn't just medicine for the soul. It was a way of understanding ourselves and our world more clearly. The stage may be empty. In a world often short on joy, the gift of making others laugh remains one of humanity's most precious talents. If you enjoyed the video, please help our channel grow and like and subscribe. We hope to see you again soon.